may recall that I spoke in a recent video about when we moved here, the electrical box that we had installed. There it is. Obviously I don't put a watering can on there like I mentioned in the video, but it is quite handy to pop your jacket on if it gets warm on a day like today. Now it's still February, it's not even the end of the first week, and it's around about 12 to 13 degrees Celsius higher than it would be as an average for this time of the year. How do I know that? Well, this is my weather station. Here it gives me the wind direction and the speed. The middle part there to the right is the temperature, and then just over the right hand side there is the meter for the rainfall to measure it in millimeters. Now back to the box, I do have one of those rain gauges there, and I was interested to learn that when you look at the rain gauge, if the gauge says you've had 10 millimeters of rain, that equates to 10 litres per square metre. Never knew that, did you? Anyway, with this lovely weather, I've been doing some bed clearance. Some are finished and some aren't. So let's take a look at each one of those in the different stages to give you an idea of what's been going on. Now this is the asparagus bed. That's completely different to the summer. So you might be able to make out there that I've cut down the ferns that we had, and I've given a really thick mulch of rotted down horse manure. There is still quite a bit of straw in there, but there's enough feed in that manure to give the asparagus plants a head start in the growing season. You may well remember that I did a video about how to grow asparagus from seed and why. And basically it's because if I use crowns, I'll end up with only having the male plants from crowns, but with seeds I get male and female, so it gives it a better chance to keep reproducing itself and regenerating. Regen, there you go. Now, 3 years old, so this year will be its 4th season, so I'll be able to harvest some of those spears. Looking forward to that. When I do it, I'll show you how I cook it. So at the end of the summer, once this bed was cleared, I threw a load of horse manure down onto this, and the white parts that you can see on there is actually wood ash from the wood burner, and that went down around about November time, so that's been there all through the winter, gradually working its way in. And then what I'll be doing pretty soon is putting a layer of green waste compost on the top of that. So this bed has been cleared recently. There wasn't a lot left in there. There was a few brassicas and a few odds and ends carrot wise, so they've been pulled out now. There's a little bit of weed growth in here and it needs to be addressed, and then basically what we'll do there, we'll level it off, give it a dusting of the horse manure, and then green waste on top of that. But it's quite good soil, in pretty good condition. There's a lot of organic matter in there, but it is quite dry. We haven't had a lot of rain, so that's my next concern. So this is the bed where we had the brassicas. So we had sprouts, we had some kohlrabis, and a couple of cabbages in there. Now I've just cleared it, that's all I've done. You can see it's revealed some of the sawdust, and so what I need to do is just give that a little bit of a cultivation, and then we can again apply the horse manure and the green waste, and it'll be ready to go. No digging involved, just a little light, like I say, cultivation, just to get rid of any of these light weeds that we've got in there, and they're ready to get planting. Now, in my last video about seeds, I told you I'd show you my kohlrabis. I haven't actually harvested them yet, so let's have a look at them, as I promised you. You get an idea of the size. So there's my size 9 boot, obviously on the left, and there's the kohlrabi, and it is quite a size. We've got 2 of them, but I will take them out. So the opposite end of the kohlrabi bed here, this is another bed where I put some horse manure down over the autumn, or during the autumn for overwintering. I can see a little bit of weed growth in there again, so I just want to pull those out, and then it'll be another layer of the green waste on the top. This one, just to give you a bit of an idea, is I've just basically again pulled out. I had calabrese in here, so they've all come out now, and this just needs a top dressing of compost. No problem at all with that. And again with this bed here, this will have another dressing of the compost. This one across here, I've just put down a new layer of horse manure. Like I say, there's a lot of straw in there. There's a lot of good stuff in there as well. And I've done the same to this bed, this side here. So this is in the last couple of days I've been doing this. And we come across to this one. This is the bed again, so I didn't want to leave the soil bare during the winter. So another layer of horse manure. And the same in this bed, which is where we had the squashes last year. But again, I've got some weed growth in here, and I obviously want to give this a little bit of a tickle, shall we say, with the cultivator. And then again, I will put another layer of green waste on top. In the middle there, I've got a bit of grass growth, so I know I need to get that out first before I do anything else. But this bed is going to be twice the size as it was from last year. And then across here is half a bed of garlic. So I planted the garlic in late autumn, and it is popping up now. You can hopefully make out. This bed did have a little bit of grass in there, so I had to get that weeded out. And this had some calabrese, some late calabrese in here. And like I said, it survived. It did well through the winter. So that stage there. So I'm not going to obviously be doing much with that, just keep it weeded. And this bed is basically the finished article. So it's been cultivated lightly or raked, however you wish to call it. And then I put the horse manure on top, and then I've covered it again with some green waste. It's not exactly level as I'd like it to be. So what I'll do is I should probably run the roller across there very quickly just to get it all flat, and then put another layer of the green waste across the top of it just to keep it neat and tidy. The idea of the green waste is just purely to make it easier to get transplants in. It gives me more of a stable structure rather than just trying to put it into, say, straw, for example. So I prefer to do it this particular way. Do you remember seeing this bed that I did late summer? Strawberries. So some cardboard onto ground like this, and then I actually used sawdust on top of that, and then horse manure, and then compost on the top, and then planted straight into it with the strawberries. So I should get a crop this year. It does need weeding, I can see that, but for the first week of February, I think the place is in pretty good shape. I've got other things to be getting on with. I'm waiting for the guy to come in and do the cultivation of the new plot that we want to establish. You know, if you remember, I said the other day, we're going to go up along there, then across over to that side there. So it's going to double our space. Quite exciting, really. So I want to get on and get these jobs done. And to be honest with you, this warm weather is a bonus because it's allowing me to get out of it a bit earlier than usual. So I'm kind of ahead of the game, which is unusual. What concerns me is that we've not had a really strong, hard, cold spell. So I'm expecting some pest issues in the summer. We'll see how we go. And the last crop to come out, apart from the kohlrabies, are the kales, who have survived really well. Very well indeed. So I'm pleased with those. And there's one other project I want to start. We'll just take a quick look at that. I mentioned to you the other day that I've got these 3 grapevines here that were by the side of the wood store. Now the idea is that this bed here and the one just to the side of it over there was where I grew the tomatoes last year. Very productive, great location. But what I'm going to do is I'm coming across to this side here, and I'm going to clear this area behind this rebar frame, and this is where these vines are going to go. So they'll be this side. You can see that I've got some long straggly bits of grass here, but I've also got a couple of lilacs that I had as transplants. There's one there just coming into bud, so I need to get in here with the strimmer, clear this all back, pop these vines in, and then expose that lilac. It's very early into bud. I've got a young acacia tree there as well, so that's interesting. We'll get that cleared, and like I say, we'll get those vines in there, And then when where I've had this horse manure that I put down for the winter period, again I'll do the same with this as I've done with the top beds there. Give it a dressing of compost. Not quite sure what's going in this particular one, but I did say the other day that I was looking at putting cucumbers across the back one there, so we'll see how we get on with that. And then just to this side here, I've got these two. These are quinces. They're only a year or so old. They're not very old. So I need to, again, clear this down with the strimmer because the ground is quite uneven, and give them some food. And away we go. Now I'm looking at this grass, and you might think you'd be tempted to give it a haircut. And you can do it if you've got the right temperatures, but I'm expecting some cold weather in the next few days, and I don't really want to do it, so I'm just going to leave it for the time being. I am itching to do it, but it can wait, and we can get, when we do finally get to cut it, it's going to be a great early boost for the compost heap. Brilliant green to add. So I've made a start on the beds, and the next part of this video will be when they're all finished. So let's see how long that takes me to get that job done. So we've taken a little bit of a break here because the weather has changed in as much as we've got rain. Highly unusual. Now you understand why I get excited, because so far this month we've had just above 3 millimeters of rain, and we've got some today, but we've also got quite a big wind strength coming in from the southwest. So I'm on the back of the house at the minute. We're looking to the north. There you can see the vegetable patch. I've had a bit of hold on the dressing of the beds, so we'll come back to that when I've got a break in the weather. But it's not going to happen today because I don't want to be moving wheelbarrows across the ground, making it hard, because when it does rain here, the ground can get quite wet. Because when it does rain here, the ground will get quite soft, so I don't want to compact the ground. Now we've got temperatures at the moment of 17 degrees Celsius. It doesn't feel very warm, but like I say, we've got a strong wind. You might be able to make out the weather station at the minute. The wind speed meter is whizzing around at a great rate of knots. You can certainly hear the noise as it whistles through the side of the office shed. So now what we're going to do is we're going to walk around to the front of the house, which is where it's getting the bashing. So we're going to go around to the side of the house. I'm speaking now before I turn because I know it's going to be really noisy. And we'll get into the wood store where it'll be a bit more sheltered. No idea where the cat is. I didn't think cats like rain, but anyway, there we go. Perhaps he's in the wood store. Let's go. There you can hear it picking up. And come around to the front. So the wind is coming from that direction there. And there's the cat. We were right, he was in the wood store. Hi Jack. You're not keen on this idea, are you, for a game? No! Poor old pussy cat. I'll get you inside in a minute. So yeah. I think he wants to get in. It's died down a little bit. But today's forecast, wind, rain and thunderstorms. So I better go and put the kettle on and make a coffee. Come on cat, let's go and find something for you to eat, somewhere warm to sit. So there we go. This is the asparagus bed. So I have actually given it a top coating of compost. We move across, you can see the next one, and the next one, and that one there. I'm not going to walk all the way around the garden and show them all. You can see it from here. The only thing I've got to do now is tamp them all down, and I'll do that with the back of a shovel. Just press it all down just to keep it level. And then I've got another bed there to finish. I need to take these kale out and our footballs, or the kohlrabi. And we're waiting for the man with his cultivator to come and create this new area for us here. So these main beds are done and ready to go. Like I say, I've got another bed there just to do a bit of maintenance on. There's a bit of grass there, I want to get that out, and then I can give it another coating. So we're going to have quite a lot of spaces to grow here. You've seen the seeds that I've got. There's a lot more still to buy, and yes, I did buy the cabbage seeds, so they're going to be sown fairly soon. They're going to be a winter variety because they grew well here last year, and we've got a lot done in the last few days. Now here's something else that I've been able to get organised a bit better. It's not perfect, but when we had the roof replaced, and there we are, we also had new guttering. Here in Hungary, their downpipe systems are a little bit different to what I'm used to, in as much as it just flows out through a running outlet and a shoe at the end of the pipe out into the ground. But I wanted to collect the rainwater. So what we did was we had the guttering coming away from the house, then the downpipe. Now I've had to modify this over the weekend because the bricks were freezing in the cold and therefore crumbling. So I've taken all the bricks out, but I had to empty this here, and there was a lot of water in it, it was full. So replaced the bricks, reinstalled the butt, and then taken a piece of piping to come across. Now the positioning of this is restricted where I can put a second water butt. So basically, for now, what I've got is this pipe coming across behind this acacia tree here. I'm holding it up at the moment temporarily with this frame to get the water into there. And then I have another pipe that connects this one into here. And each one of these, I can't remember, but I think it's about 400 or 500 litres of water. I'm not sure, I need to check that, but there's a lot in there. And they're quite heavy now. When we first came and I did this, I only had the one butt, and the wind blew it down. So now it's a lot more secure, and we can use this rainwater to water the plants in the front garden when we can't get access with a hose. So for example, the roses here, the herbs, and any other pots that we're going to have dotted about. So that's another decent job ticked off the list.